Amen. We've got a wonderful group of people here this morning. I would like for all of you to come up here. And Nick's going to come up. I think he's got a word for this young group after they share. But as all of you know, they went to Discovery Camp, and we've been going there for I don't know how many years, 15 years or more, I don't know, maybe 20. But these young people come back with such testimonies of what God did in their life while they were down there. And it's just a powerful thing. So I wanted them to just share, whichever one of them want to. But anyway, look at all these young people. You can move this, maybe Chelsea and Hope, out of the way. Before I give it to Hope, I just want to tell all of us that this is the future right here. You know, this is our future. And you know, investment into young people is an investment for our future. And I want to thank all of you personally, who some of you helped scholarship some of these kids, and that the things that happened in their life, the seeds you sowed into their lives will bring fruit back to you also. So anyway, isn't this a great-looking group? Wow. All right. Who's the leader here? Hope, Chelsea? And I want to say this about Chelsea. Man, this girl, she has just taken these kids under her wings, and Hope been helping her also. But this is the girl that just coordinates, and she is such a blessing. She grew up in this house. And look here, now she's helping the next generation to grow up. You're a blessing.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much. You're going to have to forgive me. I'm not as elegant as a speaker as my dad, so bear with me. We are going to show you a video, but before we do that, I have to say thank you to all of you. We had 24 of us from this side, 11 from our sister church, The Gathering. So we had 35, 36 of us go to camp. And all 24 from this side were paid for because of you guys. So thank you. Thank you so much. It was truly a blessing. You guys are unbelievable. And like Pastor Rich said, I have grown up in this church, and I love every single one of you. And I love your kids. I really do. I love them so much, including my three back there who unfortunately cannot go. I love them. So we are going to show you guys a quick video, and then I got about 5 campers who are going to share their testimonies, and then we'll see what God has in store.
deserve it. Still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love.
All right. Who wants to talk first? I already did, so it's y'all's turn.
Hi, my name is Crystal, and I'm 15, and I had never gone to Discovery Camp before, and it was my first time. And I think that my favorite part was the miracle service because, I don't know, I just felt like something hit me, and everyone there was so nice. And when I first got there, I was like, well, what do I have to learn? You know, like, I already know this, or I'm already baptized, and, you know, I didn't think that I was going to get anything out of it. But during the miracle service, we were all praying, and I remember that I felt like someone was hugging me. And when I was praying, I was asking for forgiveness because I know that I haven't been a good kid, you know. And then Chelsea came over, and she was praying with me, and I felt like God was talking to me, and I just felt so loved because I felt so alone because when I was really depressed, I felt like no one could help me, and I felt like everything was just going wrong. And then, I don't know, it just hit me, and I just felt like everyone just kind of sort of started loving me. And then Noelle came over, and she prayed for me, and she told me that she saw that God was telling her that I was going to have visions and that I was going to be such an amazing person. And I was telling her that before she had prayed for me, that when I was praying, God just told me who to go to, and I was just praying for them. And when I was praying on my own, I didn't know that I could do it, but I started speaking in tongues, and I started seeing visions. And when I'm near people and I feel like they need someone or they feel like alone, I feel like God is talking to me, and he's telling me to go and pray for them. And he asks me sometimes to talk to them and reach out because I know that a lot of people feel alone, and I don't want them to feel the way that I did because I know that there's someone that actually loves them. So.
Who's next?
Sure, Uncle Sean. Yeah, as they said, my name's Sam. Obviously, you guys all know me. So, I've been to Discovery Camp for this is my third time now, but I never really had a grasp on it. Sure, I love going to Discovery Camp, but I actually found my e-spirit there, or for the first time, and, well, okay, let me back up. I can't talk today, so. So, I've been trying to speak in tongues, but I never really knew how. So when I went to Discovery Camp this year, I really found myself at the miracle service. I really found out how to speak in tongues, and it was just a blessing because you saw how many people were just getting to know each other. They didn't care who you were or what culture you were from. They just came up to you and loved you, and everybody's accepted there, and it was just so amazing because, like, I guess I've been in one of those kids where it's just kind of like what Crystal said. I've been one of those kids just like, okay, I'm a church kid. I guess I belong here. But the Lord was really talking to me, just showing me about how many people don't have that and how many people at that church camp were saved. And it was just so amazing to see how many people at that miracle service were so blessed by God and touched. So, yeah.
Hi, my name is Kimberly, and like Chelsea said, I do want to thank all of you for making this possible and for giving us this huge opportunity to go to Discovery Camp because it truly is a blessing and it's something that I'm forever grateful for. So thank you so much. And I went to Discovery Camp last year, And then this year, I was looking forward to going 10 times more because I was so spiritually drained. I would pray every night, but it's like I was blocked. I didn't feel anything. I wasn't really speaking from my heart, and I didn't know what to do. And when I went this year, it was even bigger than last year, and I didn't even think that was possible. The last night service was where it really, truly hit me. There was so much going on at home, so many things that I felt, and that night, having people praying for me and just being together with so many people that don't know you, but they're there with you because we all love one person, and that's God, it just gave me so much peace. And also, I was talking with Noelle and Crystal, and I really truly believe that God really was speaking through them because I expressed everything that was going on to them, and their advice was life-changing, and it's helped me so much ever since I came home. And like all of us, we're so young, and we're still growing, and we're still learning, and this camp is so needed for us because nowadays it's so easily for us to be distracted from the path that we should be taking. And whenever you go here, at least for me, and I'm pretty sure for a lot of us, you see the world different, and you realize that so many things that you're doing are not godly, and that's where you should be going. And I just want to say thank you so much for this opportunity and for this blessing, because when I say that it changed my life, it really did. So thank you.
My name is Mason. For those of y'all who don't know me, I'm Mary's grandson. And I don't really have a testimony, but I just want to say thank you to y'all. And I just thank God for just bringing us all together to just have fun with each other. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ulises. I never went to Discovery Camp before. It was really fun over there. And the last night service, God really hit me. And I felt good.
Okay, I didn't want to talk because I feel like you guys are tired of hearing me talk. Like I talk way too much.
You gotta stand up.
Okay.
Come on.
I just kind of wanted to say, the millennials and the Generation Z, we kind of get a bad rap. And I just wanted to tell you guys, we had more campers this year than we've ever had before, just in the camp overall. There's usually like 3 colors. There was 4 colors. I mean, God is hitting this generation. Kids are getting set free. I feel like everyone is talking about how normal anxiety and depression is, and these kids found out that that's not normal. That's not what Jesus has for them. And they've experienced, there's a lot of fake love, fake joy, fake happiness that we see on social media. And they experienced real love and a real joy. And God has just touched them. They will never, ever doubt that Jesus is real because they had a real encounter with him last week. A real encounter, a real revelation of who Jesus is, what he wants for their lives. And they've been forever changed, as they've told you, and God is raising up leaders here. So no matter what the world says, that this generation is, what my generation is. That's not what God says that we are. And he's raising up real leaders to go out and change this generation and change this world. So I just want to encourage you, these kids had an amazing week. They were set free from so many things. Chains were broken. Became free. We could see a difference from day 1 to day 4. I mean, it was amazing. So I just want to encourage you guys that God is working. God is moving in this generation. Yeah.
Okay. So I've been going to camp for, I don't know, probably like 10 years. There was a few that I didn't get to go to. I think I started in 2007, and there was 2 that I missed. But they have a saying at camp that the youth bring the leaders to camp, that camp is just not for the youth. And so I want to encourage you as a young adult that God can still hit you just as much as it can hit them. So, I've had multiple experiences with God over the time, and this time I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go. Like, I'm going to discipleship school. I'm going to get, filled up this fall. Like, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be great. And so I just went, and we were praying that last night at miracle service, and I went around, and I prayed for everybody, and I prayed, and I remember at one point I looked at Natalie, and I was like, oh, I'm so hungry. I'm getting hungry. And so we were just kind of laughing and joking, and then they were praying, and Natalie she watched me. I was praying. I was like, all right, God. I was like, God. And I was like, I really want the gift of healing. I was like, I don't know. That's just been on my heart. I'd really like that gift. And the minute I asked that, it was probably a slow motion. I went from this to on my knees to on my face. And I couldn't do anything but cry and say thank you. That's all I could say. I couldn't pray. I couldn't speak. Even just anytime I tried to speak in tongues, all I could say was thank you over and over and over and over. And it was just for a good 20 or 30 minutes, for the rest of the service, I was on my face just thanking God. And the thing is I don't know what exactly happened on the inside, but something happened. And sometimes as adults, we need that. We need that experience from God as an adult. And sometimes we get in this habit of, well, I'm not a teenager anymore. I don't need this. I'm going through life. I'm doing well. And the experience or you're like, well, I'm here to pray for the kids. I'm here to help them. I'm here to pray for them. I'm here to prophesy over them. And sometimes you need it just as much as they do. You need that refilling of God as well. So, as from an adult perspective, I just want to say that it affects us leaders just as much as it affects the kids, because it refills us for the next step. Chelsea and I have been talking about what can we do to keep this alive? How can we help them? How can we keep them together as a group? How can we grow? And so it's just as much as a refilling and a refreshing for us as it is for the kids. So.
I didn't want to take up anybody's time. So I'm just going to kind of close it out. First of all, I'm really glad our shirts are red. We blend in very well, so that's good. So like Pastor Rich said earlier, I did grow up in the church. I am 28 years old. I know, hard to believe. But the main thing that I learned at this camp, and not just this camp over the past year, is that God works in mysterious ways. And I'm going to make myself cry, and I know I'm going to make them cry, but I would not be standing up here if it were not for my incredible parents back there. I mean, the fact, yeah. And I don't cry, so this is going to take a bit, and you're going to see it. You're going to see me cry. She's never seen me cry. If you had told me a year ago, hey, you're going to take over the youth, I would have been like, that's funny. No, I'm not. But before this camp, I prayed to God, and I just kept asking him. I was like, why me? Why me? It's the age-old question. We all ask it. Why me? And he said, would you stop and just take a look at the 2 people who raised you? That's why. That's why. One of them is the children's director, and the other one is the associate pastor. Sweetheart, you didn't have a chance. You did not have a chance. And I thank God every day for them. I really do. I love you both so much. I really do. And I can't say it enough how much I love these kids. But a very funny thing happened. We get to camp, and we had some incredible speakers, and this was my very first time, so I had no idea what to expect. I got thrown into the deep end, if you had ever heard it. And these two right here were like, oh my gosh, you are not going to believe, oh my gosh, you cannot wait till you hear Pastor Peter. There's this guy, his name is Pastor Peter. He's like the son of the guy or the people who own the camp. And Pastor Peter is like this amazing pastor, and oh my gosh, you're going to love him, and oh. So here comes Pastor Peter last night, and the last night was our miracle service where everybody, I went around and I prayed for everybody, and this guy's incredible. He's crowd surfing. He is all for God and everything. So I've got these two boys, and they come up to me, and they tell me that they want to get baptized, which is amen. I would love to baptize them. And so we're standing in line, and, we're getting baptized in a pool, and I get up to the front. It's kind of like you're waiting for a ride, You're like, okay, you're almost there. You're almost there. Okay, you're there. And so you're there, and I find out that I'm in Pastor Peter's line, and I'm like, yes. Oh, this is so good. He's going to say so many things. He's going to have such a great word. Get into this water. It's freezing cold, by the mind. Guy's saying nothing. I'm like, he's just staring at me. And I have this kid in front of me. I'm here. Pastor Peter's here. Where is he? Uriel. Where is he? There he is. Uriel's first up. So he comes up. He's standing in the middle, and I'm looking at Peter. Peter's looking at me, and this guy's saying nothing. And I'm like, the way these two were talking about him, it was like Jesus himself was standing in front of me, and he's saying nothing. So I'm like looking at him, and I'm like, oh my gosh, he wants me to say something. Okay, that's fine. Sure. So, I'm pretending that I'm like, wiping the water out, but I'm really closing my eyes and praying like, oh, please help me. Because, I'm baptizing this kid. I'm changing his life. And the words just start flowing. And it's amazing. The words start flowing. And so the second kid, his name's Angel. Unfortunately, he can't come up. He comes up, and I'm like, all right, Peter saw me do it the first time. Now it's his turn. Guy still says nothing. I'm like, okay, now I see how this is working. He wants me to talk to these kids. Well, a little bit about Angel. He had quite a night. He was crying. He was praying, and I love that kid so much. And he was, he had a bit of a night. I prayed for him more than I prayed for any of these campers because I could just see God just trying to hug this boy. So he's standing in the middle, and I'm across from Peter. Peter's still saying nothing. So I'm baptizing him, and I'm saying it, and I go up and everything. And in the middle of it, he comes up, and we're a roar from the other side. Every single camper, every single leader that we brought was on the other side of that fence, praising God and just cheering for these boys. And it brought a tear to my eye because it made me realize that God works in such mysterious ways. The fact that I got thrown into the deep end, the fact that I am blessed with these amazing kids, the fact that I have two incredible parents, it's something that you are like, well, duh, of course he does, but you don't really understand it until you have somebody's spiritual life in your hands. And you're saying, yes. And that was the theme. It was yes to Jesus. And these boys said it. I helped them. And you guys, I'm never going to be the same. So seriously, I cannot thank you guys enough for giving us this opportunity. God bless you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Stay there. Nick's going to come up. He's got something in his heart. But I want to say this to all of you. Right now, the number three cause of death among young people is suicide in the United States of America. The third cause of death is suicide. So, the enemy's attack is against this generation. But guess what? God is for them. And therefore, no weapon formed against them is going to prosper. And I really believe that we're going to see a great revival among the young people and a great turning. I believe that, the millennium generation is, people just count them off. They're going to rise up. You watch. There's going to be a Jesus move again, just like during the hippie days among the millenniums, and they're going to rise up. and they're going to be used of God in a mighty, mighty way. So praise God. Nick, whatever's in your heart.
I tell you, it's awesome to hear Chelsea, really thank her mom and dad. It'd be cool to have your kid, get stand up here and really, I did a whole message on my girls. Mike, what did you guys do? I need to know. They sit right there. Said,